Globally, what are the big answers to mitigate climate change? Is it putting a price on carbon? We're hearing more about nature-based solutions, sequestering carbon in trees and soil. What are the big important answers globally?
That's a great question. So as a scientist, we're really good at diagnosing problems. But the science is not meant to be policy prescriptive. And that's why I'm really glad that I'm not an elected official or a politician, because, gosh, that stuff is hard. There's this policy that has these benefits but these drawbacks. There's another policy that has these drawbacks and these benefits. What can science tell us, though, to inform good policy? This is what science can tell us. We have been digging up all of this carbon that should have stayed underground for millions of years. We have been digging it up and burning it, releasing it into the atmosphere. That is what is causing the majority of the problems we see today. There is also some contribution from things like animal agriculture and wastewater treatment, but the bulk of the problem is we've been digging the stuff up and burning it. The first thing we need to do is, in the words of Dr. Phil, stop. Now, you know, if you're smoking, you might not be able to stop today, so when's the next best time to stop smoking? Tomorrow, next week, day after, taper down a little bit. The first thing we have to do is figure out how to get our energy without producing carbon dioxide. Not just us, but the nearly 1 billion people in the world who do not have energy. How can they get energy too without producing carbon, because they don't actually even have fossil fuel resources to begin with? That's the first part. The second part is, how can we take what is already up there and put it back somewhere where it's supposed to be, like in the soil where we actually want it, because it's good for the soil. How do we do this? There's a lot of different ways to do this. Technology is moving very quickly. It is cheaper now to build solar or wind in Texas than to build natural gas. Natural gas, a new natural gas plant, is not cost effective in Texas anymore. So that's actually just happened naturally. But we have to keep going, and we have to keep going faster. China and India are leading the world in clean energy, if you can believe it. They are. How can we do that? Can we do that by putting a price on carbon? So people can still drive whatever they want, they can still set their thermostat at whatever they want, but there's a price associated with producing more carbon as opposed to less. Can we do it by helping others? By technology transfer? Can we do it by new agricultural techniques that take the carbon out of the atmosphere and put it into the soil? The answer is yes, 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 and yes. There is no silver bullet to fix this whole problem. The solutions for airplanes, really cool stuff like biofuels from algae, are different than the solutions for cars. That might be electricity. The solutions for animal agriculture are going to be different than the solutions for crops. Part of the solutions for animal agriculture is feeding them probiotics. Reduces the methane emissions. Turns out there's seaweed off the east coast of Canada that if you feed to cows, the cows love it, and it reduces their emissions significantly. Who knew? It's really, yeah. I love reading about all these cool solutions, and I love the fact that there's such a diversity of solutions. There is a solution for every single person that they can get behind. But as long as we believe the myth that climate change is this kind of only thing that liberal people care about with liberal solutions, as long as we're stuck on this myth, we're not going to be able to explore the full diversity of solutions, and we're not going to be able to get everybody on board with solutions. And that's why we have to broaden the tent.